Hey everybody, it's Aggie with the Painter's Journey, and today I wanted to share with you how I edit my photos of my artwork. I'm just going to share with you what you should be doing to make your art look its absolute best, because it's really important, right? So I am using an iPhone, and I can't really talk about what it would be like if you've got an Android, or my husband has a Samsung. It's different with each type of phone, but I'm going to be talking about using an iPhone. All phones do have the capacity for you to edit your photos though, and it's usually called the photo app. So what I usually do, just to start off with, if I have a collection or several different pieces of artwork that I'm photographing, let me get rid of this ticker at the bottom. Banners, hide. I will take photos of all of the artwork at the same time. And I usually take it right outside my studio. Outdoor photos are the best, outdoor lighting. And I'm kind of in the shade right outside my door, but when the sky is really illuminated, that gives you that nice diffused lighting. So I have figured out the best time of day, and it works really, really well for me. I always, hey Shelly, hey Teresa. I always use portrait mode when I'm photographing my artwork. So just to get us started, I'm just going to show you real quick. I've got these three pumpkins, three sparkle pumpkins that I photographed. And I've labeled them on the back so that I don't get confused, since they do look kind of similar. So you might want to start off with that. So this is SP for Sparkle Pumpkin 19, 18, and 17. So they each have a different label. And I took them outside and photographed them just a few minutes ago before I went live. So I'm going to show you them on my phone now. Here's a couple other additional photos that I took. So I have a nice little table out there, and I put all three down, and I thought I would photograph all three together. So I did that. I'm going to edit these with you in just a moment. You know what? Let me make this as large as possible. There we go. Then I photographed the first one, and I basically held it up. We call this a portrait mode because it's a vertical. So these are great for your stories and Pinterest and things like that. So I like putting it in portrait mode, and I will show you that in just a moment. Portrait mode will blur the background just a bit. Sorry, it's kind of going in and out of focus, isn't it? But there, okay, I think we're okay now. I'm going to try not to move. So I love what portrait mode does. So I love what, yeah, it is called portrait mode. So portrait has two meanings. It means that it's a vertical format, taller than it is wide. And it also means that, at least on an iPhone, when you use portrait mode, it blurs the distant background. So I shot it in portrait mode, vertical. Then I shot a very short video clip, and I like to just hold the piece and turn it. Sometimes I turn my body as well. And, you know, just a 4 or 5 second video, right? And then I have to re-grasp the artwork in a different way so that it is wide. And we call this landscape mode. So I shoot all three things: a vertical, a short video clip, and a horizontal or landscape. Okay, I did that. And then I shot a picture of my label so that I know all the pictures in front of that are number 17. Then I did the same thing with number 18, the next pumpkin. I shot a vertical, I shot a video clip, and a landscape. Shot the label, that's SP18. And then I repeated again. Oh, apparently this, I took a bad shot. Let's delete that. I don't know what happened there. And then this is number 19. the vertical, video, and horizontal. Okay, so that's everything, and the label. So those are all of my photos, right? So now what I want to do is talk about what I usually, now I have a lot of photos. Look at all those photos that I have. I keep all of my photos on my phone. I back them up on my phone. And again, I'm using an iPhone, and where I would put these, it's called files. So let me hold on, let me find my files folder 1 second. Oh, okay, here we are. So you see this folder icon right there. That's my files, and that is basically my hard drive where I can put all of my files. And I like creating a folder so that I can find my pictures later on. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to create a new folder. So I'm going to click on the 3 dots at the top, and oops, I must not be in the right thing. Where is it again? Browse, no. Hold on. There's a way to do it. I'm in the wrong mode right now. Huh. Okay, hold on. I don't want to be in recents. Gosh, I hate this when I do this. Hold on. Oh. Okay, I hit browse, and that finally took me out of whatever I was in. Sometimes it just lags and does that funky stuff. So I'm in a folder called TPJ Videos, which is where I spend a lot of time because I shoot videos for the painter's journey. That's what TPJ is. So I'm going to go back to the base level, right? This is like my home level, and here's my iCloud drive. And that is where my folders are. So I'm just going to create a new folder now. Now that I'm on that base level, I have the option to create a new folder. And I'm just going to call this pumpkins. And click done. So that's the folder where I'm going to put all of these edited photos. You may not be able to do this on yours. I know that on Android it can be a little bit difficult. Just Google how to set up a folder on whatever type of phone that you have. It's hard for me to speak to that because I don't know what you have. So now we're going to go back to our photos right here. And anytime I click on a photo, I'm using the iPhone photo app. And it has all these really great features that you may not be aware of. It only takes a couple of minutes to edit your photo and make it look really super nice. But one thing I can say when you're starting out, it's a good idea in general. Let me just back off of this. Let me add myself back to the stage. It's really a good idea when you're setting up your photo to include some background, include extra background, more than you think you need. Don't crop in really tight on your artwork. You'll have more options for cropping if you have extra space around your artwork. And it helps for cropping, and it also helps the color gamut. It helps average out the color tones and give you better color, to put it in simple terms. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, so back to this now. Obviously, this is turned the wrong way. So the very first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click Edit. Right at the top, it said Edit, and I'm going to go down and find the little crop symbol at the bottom. And I've got a few options here. And this is what I love about this app. Let me turn this light off. First thing I want to do is turn it. So here's this arrow to turn it. So that's good. That helped a lot. And I can go ahead and crop in on this if I want to. I can go like this. Oops, you got to grab the crop tool itself, and I can crop it any way I want. If I grab a corner, I can affect both axes of the crop tool. If I grab the middle, I can go one way, this, to make it more wide, or if I grab this handle, I can make it more tall. Okay, to get it back to where it was, I can just, I can always revert. I can click done and then revert to get back to the original if I mess up. So now it's back to where it was, and I'm going to edit again and turn it. Hit crop and then turn. So if there's a certain size that I want it to be, or a certain aspect ratio, this little thing right at the top here, I'd click on that. And then if I look at the bottom and kind of pull, swipe to the left, I can see all the different aspect ratios. Sorry, you can really see a lot of reflection there. The first one is 16:9, 5:4, and so on. So sometimes there might be a specific aspect ratio that you want to use. I think for the most part we use, what do we use, Shelley? 2:3 or 3:2, I think. Here's 3:2, and I think that's a typical landscape like for Etsy. Okay, so let's say we're going to do that. And what I'm noticing is that the image, it's a little bit like my camera was tilted just a little bit. It looks a little bit crooked. So if I wanted to straighten that out, I would go back to crop, and then see this line here. The first one can help me get it straight. If I had it tilted just a little bit, I can get that fixed, right? And I know this is just a little bit blurry. So let's say I want to tilt it back this way just a little bit. The other thing I can do, see this next one? That's going to help me tilt it this way. Can you see what it's doing? So that can be very helpful. And I know it's a little hard to look at with these weird grid lines in the background, so I'm just going to leave that be. It is a little bit blown out on the camera with my video camera, but in real life, it doesn't look blown out. I know this looks very white on camera, but in reality, it's not like that. It's the video camera picking it up wrong. You use 4:3. Is that what I had? I think that's what I had. Let me see. Here's 4:3. Subtle difference. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you is adjusting. There's an automatic adjustment. So this magic wand looking thing will do an automatic adjustment, and you can tell that it did it because if you look at the outline of this one, this yin yang looking circle, see how there's a yellow outline on part of the circle? That shows you how much it affected. I think the yin yang is brilliance. And see on the next one, it's showing the highlights. The yellow shows that it did affect those tools just a little bit. That was automatic, but I can continue and do even more than automatic if I want to. I can hit the plus sign for this first one, and that's exposure. So if I wanted to bring up the exposure, I'd go this way. If I want to bring down the exposure, I'd go this way. And I can go through each one of these things and change, the highlights, the shadows. I really like doing the black point. This really adds a lot, and I'm going to show you that in just a second on a better photo. There's also saturation. Try not to get too crazy with saturation because you don't want to misrepresent what your art actually looks like. If it isn't a real saturated bright blue, you shouldn't up that saturation too much because that might, make it look different than it actually looks. So anyway, let's just say we're done with that. We did all those things. I usually don't use tint or sharpness or any of this stuff on the end. So I'm going to say done and move on to the next photo. Okay, so the next one, this is going to be my Sparkle Pumpkin 17, right? I'm going to click edit. And again, I'm going to click the auto because that seems to really give it a nice oomph overall. It is slightly crooked, ever so slightly. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to hit crop and straighten. And sometimes it's very hard to get those little tweaks like that, but that looks much better. It might need a little bit of this. Oh, no, not really. That looks okay. but it's not centered anymore. If you wanted to recenter it, you could just put 2 fingers in there and you can do this. So if I make it just a little bit larger, I can pull it over to the left a little bit more so that it's perfectly centered now. And I'm done with that one. Here's the video. Now you can do the same edits to the video. You can also edit a video. I'll turn the sound on for the heck of it. So I can click edit and do the same, do an adjustment on that. Maybe I want to make it a little bit lighter. Sometimes video looks a little different. Go in and, adjust all of that. Look what black point does. When I increase the black point, it just really makes it look a lot richer. Shelly and I were talking about this earlier. And of course, it's very, very crooked. So let me go back to my crop tool and straighten. Now see, because I didn't have a whole lot of image, I don't have enough image on the side, so I'm not able to do as much as I would like. That's why I say, if you give yourself extra image, see when I go to tilt, I have to tilt it this much and I can't really center it anymore because I turned it so much. See, so this one I'd have to reshoot. So I'm gonna click done and revert back to the way that I had it. Wait, was this it? Or was that the video that I was doing that on? Oh, was I doing that to the video? I'm just gonna revert back. So now we're back where we were. And I'm just going to do a little bit of fine tuning there. I usually bring the highlights down so that they don't look blown out, and I make the shadows a little bit darker. And then I hit done. And then it takes a little bit longer. See, it says preparing video. It does take a little bit longer for videos to edit. So this is going to take a minute. You have to keep it open. If you were to try to move on to the next one, it won't finish doing this processing or preparing that it's doing right now. I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, so here's my horizontal one. I'm going to hit edit, auto. You notice the difference of what it does with auto? Let me bring it up closer. When you do this on your camera, you'll really see a difference, So I'm going to maybe increase the exposure a little bit, increase the brilliance a little bit. Highlights I like to bring down. Shadows I usually make a little bit lighter, not too much though. And then I usually don't use contrast or brightness, but I do bring up the black point. That just gives it that really rich look. Saturation, I would increase probably no more than 10. And vibrance a little bit. Vibrance kind of adds saturation, but also a bit of a glow, a yellow glow. And a lot of my photos, like I mentioned, I'm in the shade. So sometimes I will add a little bit of warmth to make up for that shade. Sometimes when you're in the shade, it puts a blue cast over everything. So I'm going to make it a little bit warmer, and then I'm done with that one. I don't think I need to crop it at all. I think that looks pretty good. I suppose I could make it a little bit larger in there. And again, I've got my grid turned on, my tic-tac-toe grid, so I can see exactly where the center is. Well, that's a little too big. So maybe that would be the cropping. That's a little bit better. And click done. And really, I don't even need this one, so I'm going to I'll leave it there for now. It's good to have it there because that's what I named it. I named it Peacock Blue. So when I go to put this on my Etsy listing, I have the name already figured out. And that's what I would type into my listing title or in my description somewhere or on my website. Okay, and then this is the next one. So I would just repeat the same thing for this. Or what you could do, I discovered this today. Whatever I did on this one, if I can copy all of the edits and apply it to my other photos. So this is really cool. You just hit edit. Where's copy edits? Okay, so I said the wrong thing. You hit the three dots up at the top. Hit the three dots and then click copy edits. Then hit this back arrow so that you see all your photos at once. Select all the other photos that you want to affect with the same edits. So I'm going to choose this. I need to have select chosen. Click the select button so that you get the little arrows. So I'm going to select those 4. And then I'm going to go click, now the 3 dots are at the bottom, click the 3 dots and paste edits. And it says pasting edits completed. So it did the same changes that I did to the first photo to the other 3 photos. Isn't that awesome? So it's a little bit of a time saver. So what do you think? Isn't that great? Now these are all good to go. I mean, I would go back in and I would double check them. Oops, I didn't mean to click on that. Sorry. I don't know how I did that. There we are. So I would just go through and double, like this one, it didn't finish preparing that video. It still wants to finish that. I don't need to make you sit through that. But I would go through and just double check them all that they look good. And then I'm done. Hey, Lori. So if you guys have any questions on this, just be sure to comment. I am more than happy to hop on here and answer any questions that you have. Again, I used an iPhone. It's going to be different depending on what kind of device, what kind of phone that you have. And of course, you can always just Google how to create a folder on my Android, type in what kind of Android you have. Or how to edit photos in whatever photo app you have. Every kind of phone has its own photo app. Yeah, Shelly says, I love that you can add the edits to multiple photos. Yes, that can be a really great time saver. And then, so the very last thing that I would do is that I would select all of those photos and put them into the folder. I didn't do that. Let me show you that really quick. I'm going to remove myself, hide Shelly's comment, and turn this light off. Okay, and let's go back in here. I forgot to show you that part. You don't need to see my password. Okay, so now I'm going to select these photos. You got to hit the select button at the top and choose all of the photos that you want to file into your folder. Okay, I have them all chosen. And the way that I can tell that they are chosen is because they have a check mark. So then at the very bottom left, I see this box with an arrow. I'm gonna select that, and then it's saying, okay, where are we going with all of these selections? So I'm gonna look for my file folder. And here it is. I had to scroll down so that I see save to files. Now it might be different on yours depending on what kind of phone you have, but I'm just going to click save to files. And then it's going to take me back wherever I was last time. And that's not where I want to be. I basically had it on my main level of my iCloud Drive, and I believe I named it pumpkins. So I need to do a search for pumpkins. And here's my pumpkins folder. It's empty. It's the one that I created today. And I'm just going to click save at the top, and it's going to put all of those in there. So to double check that they actually went there, I'm going to click on files, pumpkins, There they are. Yay! Now you can also rename these things. So like I know that this first one is SP17. If I'm not sure, I'm going to scroll and I'm going to see, yep, those are SP17. So I could name it, I can hold my finger on it and click rename. And when it's a gray cursor like that, that's when I can start typing in the name that I want to assign it. So I'm going to make it capital letters SP. If I can type a P. Oops. Oops. Wait. Butterfingers here. Right, done. Rename. Rename. SP. I keep doing that. -17. And this is my vertical, so maybe I'd put a V for vertical. And click done. Okay, SP17V is vertical. And then I would go to the next one. It's at the top. This is SP17. I want to rename it. Hold my finger down. Rename. SP video, or it's SP17. SP-17 video, or just vid. Done. Okay, this is, I'm going to rename this one. Hold my finger down on it. It gives me all these options. Rename SP-17. And this is my horizontal. So I'm going to say horiz, just so that it has a different name from the other ones. Click done. And then this one I don't need anymore, so I'm going to delete that. Just hit delete. So if I scroll down, they're all listed at the bottom there because they have a name to them. So that's it. I showed you how to, well, I didn't really show you how to set up a folder because it's different on everybody's, but essentially, first you photograph your art, first you name it and label it so that you know which is which. Then you photograph it and take your time, find a good spot outside with natural lighting. When is the best time of day? Where is the best spot? If you've got some greenery for a background, that works really, really well. So photograph them first, then come back inside and set up your folder, name your folder, and then start doing your editing. And you can get your editing done pretty quickly. And put the edited pictures into the folder that you created and name the files. So those are the actual JPEG files. So a lot of times when we're new to this, we don't even realize that we're talking about the files, it's not just a photo in my photo album. These are actual JPEG files that I need to select that JPEG to upload it to wherever, to my website, to my Etsy, or wherever. And you always want to have those where you can find them. So that's it, my friends. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, just type them in the comments below. See you next time.